And I got all kinds of illustrations. I'm going to tell you about this guy. You might have heard of him. His name is Lucifer. Everybody say Lucifer. You know who that is, don't you? That's the devil. And have you ever read where the devil came from in the Bible? How he became the devil? Because at one time, he was up in the heavens, and he was an angel. Now, you all know there's good angels. He was one of the good angels. God had created him. And the angels are at God's beckon. They're to do whatever God calls them to do because they do all kinds of things. But one of the things, when God sends them on a mission, they got to go do what God tells them to do. And the angels were all up there in heaven. But Lucifer, he came up with his own set of ideas of what he wanted to do. And the Bible says, I'm going to read it to you. They'll be on the screen in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 13. Lucifer, he said in his heart, here's what he said, I will ascend to heaven, and I will raise my throne above the stars of God, and I will sit enthroned on the Mount of Assembly and on the utmost heights of the sacred mountain. Verse 14, I will ascend above the tops of the clouds, and I will make myself like the Most High. His ambition was to be like God. He was hungry. Or should I say, he was power hungry. He had this resolute ambition, this consuming passion, but it was for power. He wanted to be as great as God. And what did God say in verse 15? Oh, you will be brought down to the grave, to the depths of the pit. And God is saying, because of your wrong ambition, I'm going to take you to your grave. And then there was this guy named Nebuchadnezzar. Who was Nebuchadnezzar? He was the king of Babylon. What is Babylon? Babylon at the time was the greatest empire the world had ever known up to that point. And he's the king. And he had a strong desire. He had strong ambitions. And Nebuchadnezzar tells us of his desire as a king in Babylon. He said these words in Daniel 4 verse 30. He said, is not this the great Babylon that I have built as the royal residence by my mighty power and for the glory of my majesty? You see, Lucifer was power hungry. Nebuchadnezzar was praise hungry. He was so hungry, he praised himself. And God reacted, just like he reacted with Lucifer. In verse 31, it says the words were still on his lips. What words? He was saying, as he was saying, I did all this for the glory of my majesty. While the words were still on his lips, when a voice came from heaven and said, this is what is decreed for you, King Nebuchadnezzar. Your royal authority has been taken away from you. You will be driven away from people. You will live with the wild animals. You will eat grass like cattle. 7 times will pass by for you until you acknowledge that the Most High is sovereign over the kingdoms of men and gives them to anyone he wishes. Wow. Then you say, well, that's Lucifer and that's King Nebuchadnezzar. I can't relate to those guys. Well, can you relate to the farmer over in Luke chapter 12? He had become rich. And Jesus told this parable, the ground of a certain rich man produced a good crop. And the rich man thought to himself, what shall I do? I have no place to store my crops. And then he said, this is what I'll do. I will tear down my barns, and I got this idea. I'm going to build some bigger barns, and there I will store all of my grain and all of my goods. And then I'm going to say to myself, you have plenty of good things laid up for many, many years. Why don't you just take life easy, eat, drink, and be merry? But God said to him, you fool, this very night your life will be demanded from you, and then who will get what you have prepared for yourself? You see, this man was not power hungry. He was not praise hungry. He was possession hungry. He was pleasure hungry. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. This is not rocket science. There is nothing wrong with having passions and drives and ambitions. God put those abilities within you. But beatitude number 4, kingdom principle number 4, isn't blessed are those who hunger and thirst for pleasure. It isn't blessed are those who hunger and thirst for wealth or for recognition. It isn't blessed are those who hunger and thirst for power. No, kingdom principle number 4 says that true blessing comes when you pursue, when you hunger, when you thirst for righteousness, for the things of God. Oh, there are many passages in the Bible, not just the Beatitudes, that reveal to us, write this down, that there should be this desire in us to desire godly things. It should be there. And all you have to do is look at the last 7 days of your life since you were here last week. What did you do from last Sunday till this Sunday? What consumes you? What motivated you? What was it that activated you? Where did most of your time go? What did you spend most of your energies on the last 7 days? The psalmist said in Psalm 42, as the deer pants for streams of water, so my soul pants for you. My soul thirsts, and it's a word that means continually. It's not something, well, I'm going to desire God today, but I'm not going to do it the rest of these days. No, it says that my soul thirsts continually for God, for the living God. Where can I go and meet with God? Psalm chapter 63, he said, oh God, you are my God. Not Hollywood, you're my God. Money, you're my God. Pleasure, you're my God. Applause, you're my God. iPhone 13, you're my God. No, he says, oh God, you are my God. And oh God, you are my God. Earnestly, earnestly, earnestly I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My body, this body longs to be famous on TikTok. He said, my body longs for you in this dry and weary land where there is no water. And I have to point this out. This is truth magnified. This is truth personified. I want you to write this down and understand that we're seeking not your righteousness, we're seeking God's righteousness.